Well, goodness gracious, we're out here today in the backyard. Going to spend some time doing a couple things. First of all, we got our visitor today. How about that? We got a little guy. He just decided to come over, spend an hour or two running around and playing in the backyard. So this here is our famous dog, the Beast, Cody. Hey, Cody, how you doing? And Cody's really good at running after and chasing, getting the ball, and just having fun. Just has a beautiful little run around. Good boy. You're such a good boy. So I'm not going to get running around with him. I've got some projects that I'm going to be doing here and sharing with you. So it's a Saturday. I'm just going to do a couple of typical outdoor Saturday things. So here we are. We're in our backyard and just enjoying it. We got just a nice quiet day in the neighborhood, I guess, if you want to call it that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a couple little chores here, and I'm going to invite you along for some of you who might not know how to do some things. I'll share some things that I'm doing, which is a pretty common, typical things that we do. It'll be noisy, and I'm just going to keep it going. And just ride along with me and see how long this takes, guys. Okay, the first thing, we were out here on the patio, and I just got done mowing yesterday, and I got too tired, so I couldn't finish. So I came back out today just to catch up. And normally, what I'll do is I'll let the stuff go because it's going to rain shortly and it washes itself away, or I can either vacuum it up with the shop vac or just a regular house vacuum cleaner, or I can also take the leaf blower and blow the stuff off that way. So today, because of a couple things I want to show you, I'm just going to do with the household vacuum. I'm not going to try to make a picture perfect or anything like that. I'm just going to try to get a majority of the stuff picked up here real quick. So one of the things that a lot of people probably don't know is that when you do things, whatever it is that you're doing, it's very, very important to make it look like fun. No matter what you do in life, as long as you make it look easy and look fun, there's a good possibility that somebody's going to want to join in and take over your fun or help out. But you got to make it look like it really is fun. So this is only taking about a minute so far, if even. I guess I could look and see. But for the sake of what we're doing here, is I just wanted to clean up some stuff real quick. And no special reason. We don't have anybody coming over that I know of. So occasionally we get visitors or so that have a cigarette back here. We do have an ashtray for people that want to come out, and if they're going to smoke a cigarette, that's their choice, and as long as they don't blow it on anybody else, I think that's all right. I mean, yeah, okay, so that's all I got to say about that. So sometimes things are a little bit tougher for me these days to get around, but I think I've accomplished what I want to do on that part. So the next step, of course, would be when you're doing cleanup in the backyard, you want to have some kind of a waste basket. Now we got this one, and it seems to be doing a really nice job. We have people coming over and stuff. When they get here, it's always nice to have a nice size garbage container so that we can put all the cans if we're recycling, if it's that kind of a party, or if we're having people over for a barbecue, that we can get all the plates and all the stuff that we want to throw in a bag and burn later on. We can just do it with a nice size waste basket, not a little itty bitty thing that nobody in the world can fit anything into it. So what you do is you kind of do the corners, get each corner done. And what's nice about this particular wastebasket is that it has a nice little little bin cap. And I see that there's some area over here that I missed, and I want to get that area cleaned up. So that's going to take a couple more seconds. And there you have that. So vacuum cleaners, how do they work? There's a lever usually for these uprights that you can step on, and then the vacuum cleaner tips so that you can get underneath things, that you can get this motion going, and so that the front portion of the vacuum cleaner stays on the ground so that you can keep suction going. And then when you're done, you can just click that white thing back in, and then you can roll your vacuum cleaner away. So a couple things that I did today was I did some stuff to set up a little bit to make things easy for me. So if you notice, I was using the vacuum cleaner, and as long as I have that, I have a sense of balance. I'll pull this over here. Now I'm sitting down. What a great day. That was kind of a fun thing to do, just to get things cleaned up and have them looking pretty nice. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I have a kind of a heavy-based step stool. And this step stool does a lot of things for us, and I like to use it because it'll elevate to the height. It's nice and portable. And in the event that I want to do things, I'm just going to go back to that. Work on projects and stuff like that. I'll have the step stool here by me. Now, this is a little bit of a tell you what you might not know. A lot of people might not know that when you're wrapping up a vacuum cleaner, that one of the first things you should do is unplug it. So, okay, that makes sense. So this is plugged into the wall. What's interesting about that is a lot of people, they grab onto this and they act like they're going water skiing in Lake Waconia or something like that, and they start pulling from approximately, I don't know, 15, 20 feet away. Well, that's a real hard thing to happen on an extension cord. What we want to do is always go up to the plug-in and grab the prong, a little prong there, grab it somewhere in that neighborhood and give it a little yoink. Away it comes off. Okay, so we're going back here. We're going to settle down. It's a little bit warm out today, so I got a beverage with me. I'm going to bring that over here and set that down here. So this brand new chair that I got for Father's Day happens to have a handy dandy beverage holder over on the side there. And so now that I'm sitting down, I'm going to put my beverage right over there. Thank you, beautiful bride, for giving me this Father's Day present. So, now we're back at it again. What I was going to tell you about upright vacuum cleaners, when you have the cord on the back side, like this one, this particular model has, when you go to unravel a cord, the upper attachment is usually it has a little bit of a spring loading in it. And you can just turn that from the position that it's at downward, and then just grab on, and when you grab onto it, you can pull the whole thing off. How about that? And then just throw it out like you're trying to save somebody who's drowning in a shipwreck or something like that, and throw it out. Away it goes, and people can, you can just plug it in wherever you're going, throw it in the direction where the outlet is, of course. So then when you're done doing that, after you get done vacuuming, you want to first of all have this upright. The second thing is with these vacuum cleaners, you can unplug the hose itself. There's a couple different little clicks, positionings that it goes into, and what that does is it stabilizes the hose. So why would you want to take the hose off? That would be if you had certain things that you just want to vacuum up without picking the vacuum cleaner up, or certain things that the bottom part of the vacuum cleaner, the rotating part, is not going to be able to pick up. So I'm kind of turning this around because we'll get back to, well, actually, let's go back again, and we'll just get right to it, and we will wrap this guy up, guy or girl, whatever. We'll wrap this vacuum cleaner up, and it'll just take a couple seconds to do. It sure is a beautiful day to wrap up the cord on a vacuum cleaner. Man, this is so much fun. I didn't even really ever realize how much fun wrapping up a vacuum cleaner could be. So, another really neat thing that a lot of people, unless they've been told by somebody, might not know, that most of the cords on a vacuum cleaner and bigger appliances have this little U-shaped thing on the bottom here underneath the plug-in itself, and what that does is it just clicks itself, click, right into the side of the cord, and that way the cord doesn't fall off anymore. So now we pretty much have everything on the back side of this vacuum cleaner stowed away, secured. This particular vacuum cleaner has places where you can put other attachments, and like all the vacuum cleaners we've ever had, and we've had a lot, all those parts go missing somewhere. Where, I have no idea. So what we're going to do now is, I like to, after every time we use the vacuum cleaner, personally, I like to just take and kind of empty out the stuff that's inside of it. So that we'll take our waste basket and we'll open it up. See that? How we're opening it up. And we will take this. Now what's really interesting, this particular waste basket has an attachment, and if you want to put two, because earlier I was talking about having beverage containers, and then the other thing that I was talking about was having maybe plates and stuff like that. So when this is off, when we pop this off, this lid, this will be down underneath. These little sections will be underneath, and so you could run two bags at one time. This is just crazy. This is just like a super awesome invention. So then you can put your cans and bottles, paper plates, food. The list is endless, friends. The list is endless. This is so much fun. This is so cool. So, and then if you're going to run it with one bag, one big black bag that we got here, then we just stow it back away. So there's a lot of stowing going on here today, folks. So for today, we come over here, there's a little, it says tank release, so this is what they're calling the tank right here. So that's why I told you also a little bit earlier that I had my step stool, handy dandy step stool that I bring along with me, so I can do some of these things. And of course it's going to be a little bit complicated to do because I'm trying to so this just turns, see there's a little instructions. A lot of things mean unlock and lock. These are universal designs that they put on stuff so that they don't have to have a language specialist, because it's already been figured out what universal signs are, and they incorporate it into the product, and it saves lots and lots of money that you would normally have to spend on ink for printing and labeling instructions that you no longer have to do by using universal signs. So this will also, lots of things like we were talking about in another video the other day, they have the instructions right on the side of it. It makes it even all the more easier. So I grabbed this little thing, wada-doo-ba-da. It's emptied, just like that. It's not a hard thing to do. I come right back up here, and I find where this little lock attachment, that little lock attachment thing goes in, and what you want to do is line it up. And when that top lines up with the bottom one, you're locked in, folks. Now, this is the nasty thing right here. In the bottom, just above the top part of the motor, there's usually some kind of a filter system in addition to the regular things that are happening. This system right here will contain like hair, dust, all kinds of things that seem to want to sneak by and get by the regular canister container. In this particular vacuum cleaner, they call it the tank. Now, if you would have told me 40 years ago, when I was a teenager, well, okay, let's say about 45 years ago, when I was a teenager, that I would be sitting out someplace on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in a beautiful yard, which I thank God for. I'm so blessed to have this, that I would be sitting out here talking to somebody about cleaning up a vacuum cleaner and vacuuming. I might have agreed with you that, yeah, there's a good strong possibility that I would have probably been doing that. I probably would have been using a Super 8 camera back then in my mind. So now what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've cleaned the important parts, the parts that normally are functioning. Now, one final little thing that we can do is we can tip our vacuum cleaner back, and I'm not endorsing this. This just happens to be a vacuum cleaner that we purchased and have gotten a lot of wear and tear on already. We're very abusive when it comes to our vacuum cleaner. Now, this is something that a lot of people, when you get to this level, sometimes you might have one of those kids. You might have a kid that flosses his teeth and drops the floss on the floor and just acts like that accidentally happened, or he'll drop the floss on the floor, he or she will drop the floss on the floor and look down and can't find it, and they might think that it just magically disappeared. these things work really, really good. This is just a little plant tripper, or plant trimmer. You can get them at any hardware store. I always recommend that you have one of these, especially around when you're doing stuff outside, and so you can get in behind things like this, and then you could just snip it off. See that? Just snipped it off, threw it in the garbage. So that pretty much concludes this portion of cleaning vacuums, cleaning the deck, or the patio, whatever you want to call it, showing you how to put things into the garbage that need to go in the garbage. And while I'm at it, I'll show you my die that's sitting right here. It's a project that I worked on, one that I came up with, and I do have a video on that if you want to look at my DIY video where I put this die together. And what that is just a regular can crusher. So I'm going to end this video where I'm going to just come over here. There was maybe somebody forgot to do that last night, to take and finish what they started. So like I mentioned, I always have gloves for safety purposes, and I'm going to just toss that in there. Okay, that concludes my little afternoon Saturday thing going on, and I want God to bless you guys wholeheartedly. Have a great day. Cody, come on. And there's my friend.